now it's time to be dangerous. Now it's time to get risky. Now it's time to truly find out what you're made of and what you could achieve. Now it's time to truly find out how many lives you can impact. Now it's time to find out what you were destined to become.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Erick of Raw Minds, and I'm honored to welcome Amos Balongo, a globally recognized keynote speaker, communication coach, and transformational leader. With roots in Kenya, and a base now in Hawaii, Amos has spent over 18 years helping leaders from military officers to teach exclusive, more past self-doubt into powerful and self-expression. His mission is simple, yet profound. To help people not just say something, but to make others feel something when they speak. Through his work and a leader Compass consulting group, Amos equips clients to elevate their visibility, commands, recognition, and lead with authenticity. I can't really speak today, sorry, so bear with me. He also wears many hats beyond coaching. He's a founder of Camp Ohana, a youth development organization active in Hawaii and in Africa. He's traveled to over 30 countries, and he is certified John Maxwell speaker, coach, and trainer. So I just want to say also, if you like what we're doing here, please subscribe, share, follow, do all those good things. And we appreciate it because, you know, someone out there may need to hear this. So I just want to welcome my friend, Amos. How are you doing, brother? Welcome to Raw Minds.
Erick, thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you, man. It's great to have you. And first off, I like to tell all my guests if they can plug everything that they want. I want everybody to come to you that needs to. So please plug all your.
All right. Well, my website is amosbalongo.com. There you can find all the information about me. You can find my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as a YouTube channel as well.
Perfect. And that'll be all in the description. So just scroll down, check out the description, and all the links will be there.
All right. Wonderful.
So I just have to say, first off, you're my first guest from Hawaii. So that's pretty awesome.
Aloha.
Yes. Aloha. You just popped our
Aloha.
Hawaiian cherry. So thank you for that. So can you tell us a little bit of personal origin story about you? Like what got you to where you are today, and all the, like you're the founder of your company there and all that. Like, can you tell us what's
all right? Well, I've had different journeys in my life, and probably start with a professional journey that got me to where I am, and that is the leadership space. I worked in the management space in Fortune 100 companies in the US for a while, and I realized during this time that the focus was always about systems and processes, and it was all about, you know, how do we get people to produce, and it's all about the numbers. And during that, I learned that you cannot make the numbers, you cannot produce, you cannot hit your targets unless the key ingredient here is the people. So I began to look at what's the opposite of being a management consultant? What's the opposite of being a manager? And the opposite is really a leader. And so I began to look at, you know, what does it take to become a leadership coach? What does it take to lead people instead of managing people? Because once you lead people, they take care of the systems, they take care of the numbers. And that's how I ended up founding the Leader Compass Consulting Group and focusing now on how do we add value to people? Because once we add value to people and grow people, they take care of the businesses. And so that's one part of a journey that got me from managing people, managing systems, to leading people and adding value to people, to serving people so they can be better leaders, and to growing leaders.
awesome, man. And was this like one-on-one coaching, or was it like businesses, or like how did you
Starting out, I started out doing one-on-one coaching, and it has now become coaching, speaking, as well as group coaching as well. But I first started out doing one-on-one coaching, and now I work with corporations, I work with the US government, I work with companies all over the world, both virtual and also in person as well. But just like anything else, you start out small and then you build as you go. Coaching is an interesting space because in addition to coaching others, you need to be coaching yourself as well. And what is interesting about this journey is that at any given time, I could be working in the airline space, in the healthcare space, in the construction space. And so every opportunity is an opportunity to learn. I was in the Bahamas just a few weeks ago, and I was speaking to folks there in the human resource space. So this journey is interesting because there's no typical day in growing people, because people come from all walks of life, and they also come from different sectors and industries, so to speak.
And I
So
can't
that's
imagine. Oh, sorry, I
yeah.
didn't mean to
So
cut. I
no, no
just
worries. So
yeah.
that's my professional space and my professional coaching space. And then there is the other journey, which is my philanthropic space. And uh that really came about because many people talk about giving back, but very few people actually do that. And so by starting Camp Ohana Foundation, this was literally saying, we're going to put our money where our mouth is. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and we're going to go out and help mostly children who, under normal circumstances, would never be able to get the opportunity to learn, play, and grow. And as a result of that, we started off in Kenya, in Africa, and now we are providing opportunities for kids to learn, play, and grow in Kenya, in Hawaii. We just opened up a program in Australia, and we have gone from arts and cultural programs to youth aviation programs to leadership programs. And that is, my pride and joy is when we give back, when we open up the opportunities for kids to possibilities without limit.
Yeah. That's amazing. I
I,
just got crazy goosebumps, man. I like that's amazing. I just have to cut you off there and say, like, I'm so proud of you. That's amazing. Like my whole body's tingling. Just the kids, man. That's our future. You know what I mean? Like that's who's gonna take care of us when we're old. You know what I mean? Like we need
right,
these people, right? So
absolutely.
I just want to say thank you first. But I just wanted to give you praise for that. I think it's beautiful what you're doing there.
Thank you, Eric. And I am fortunate to have a really good team of people that have walked this journey with me. When you look at a leader, they didn't get there by themselves. And if anybody tells you they got there by themselves, then they've just exposed their biggest blind spot. I have so many people that have walked this journey with me over the years, and they really deserve the credit. I just speak on behalf of so many who have walked with me and still do to this day.
That's amazing, man. So humble too. I love it. You're it's really good, man. I'm really glad I met you, and our conversation before offline there was really good. So thank you for what you're doing for these kids. Like I said, because that's our future. Can you give a bit of a rundown of like the camp, kind of like what exactly, just a little bit, if that's okay?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the Camp Ohana Foundation is not one particular camp. The other day I was having a conversation with a gentleman, and I said it's now a movement, because at the heart of it is the true spirit of Ohana. Ohana is a Hawaiian word that means family. And when we started out in Kenya, in Africa, we just really wanted a place where kids can go and play and learn and just be kids. And we started off with a basic health education program that turned into the first children's library in Kenya, that led into opportunities for children to be able to meet with folks from all over the world and learn about their cultures and their lifestyles. Because I believe that the more we know about each other, the safer the world will be. And opening up Camp Ohana in Kenya to people from Canada, the United States, the Netherlands, and all these countries to come in and to just share their stories with his kids, because I believe that you cannot be what you cannot see. And having, one of my proudest moments was when we had some Hawaiian Airlines pilots come to Camp Ohana in Kenya and sit down with the kids and talk to them about aviation. And these kids from very poor villages will sit there and be like, I can become a pilot. I can become a flight attendant. I can become a flight engineer because I can see them. I can touch them. And that led me to really opening up, the program to people from all over the world. What are the camps have now become these cultural experiences. There's educational experiences. We recently became the first ever children's ukulele orchestra in Africa,
Wow, good
where
for
we
you.
took an instrument from Hawaii called the ukulele and took it to Kenya, and the children adopted it and have created some amazing music that is now on iTunes and Spotify and Amazon Music, which is the Ohana Children's Ukulele Orchestra. You just have to Google that or find it on Spotify, and it's Ohana Children's Orchestra, and they've got music that has been recorded there, all from giving them an instrument and giving them hope and telling them you can do this, as well. So that's another program that we have. We've also recently gotten into youth aviation over the last 3 or 4 years, where children in Kenya, in Hawaii, and now in Australia are able to really get into aviation and learn and grow and create pathways for them to become pilots, to become flight attendants, to become engineers, to become, to take on other roles in the aviation space. Because most of the time people think aviation is just about flying a plane, but
No,
there's
there's more.
so many other functions. There's marketing, there's finance, there's logistics, and all that's opening up the kids to that space by bringing in mentors, once a month, who get online and speak to the kids and talk about the different careers that we can have. Because again, it goes back to, if you can see it, if you can experience it, you can be it.
Yeah, I love it. And so is it so is it like on a Zoom call or whatever, maybe something online? So is it like very interactive, like asking questions and very involved back and forth?
Yes, we have the children ask the guests questions, and the third Saturday of every month we have this program, and the kids will get together on Zoom. And we've got kids from, I think, 9 countries now that come on this call. They come together, and we've got a guest, and the guest talks about their life in the aviation space or in the leadership space, and the kids get to ask questions and interact with the guests and learn. Because the
And
only way you're going to
motivation.
learn, yeah, is by asking great questions.
Yeah.
So Camp Ohana Foundation really has become a movement that's bigger than just a camp in one area, to a program that is impacting children farther than we could even imagine.
That's amazing. Worldwide, my friend. Worldwide, my friend.
Absolutely.
And it's growing, like you said, right? So yeah.
Yes, and I've always said we need to be the playground for new ideas.
I
And when
love
new
it.
ideas come in, we will experiment them, because the only way you move forward is by trying.
Yeah.
So as
Yeah.
long as it's safe and as long as it's legal and as long as it's ethical, we are going to try it.
Oh yeah, man. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. And like you said, man, it's for the kids, and they need, especially in this world nowadays, they need all the love, cuz let's face it, they're born pure into this world, and then it just corrupts. The world, it can be evil, but it can be good too.
Yeah.
It can be good too, right? So the kids need this, man, and thank you for this.
Yeah, we have a really unique opportunity as adults to impact the lives of kids. And if we do it right, we set them up with strong foundations that help them to be future leaders. And yes, if any of the viewers want to learn more about Camp Ohana Foundation, it's pretty simple: campohana.org. That's
And you'll
the,
find it in the description too.
yes, that's
And
our,
if you want to send the orchestra one too to me, we'll put that in the description. People can come and check out the music too. I'd love it. And I want to check it out too. So I'm going to show some love.
absolutely. If you've got Spotify or Apple iTunes or Amazon Music, you can go right in there, Kampohana Children's Ukulele Orchestra. You can listen to the music.
I'd love it. Okay. Yeah. Please send that to me, because I want to show them some support and do that too. So
Absolutely.
awesome. To your speaking, I got a couple of questions for speaking. What's the difference between speaking well versus making people feel when you speak?
Okay. Let me see if I get the right. The difference between speaking well and,
And then making people feel when you speak.
okay. So the difference between speaking well is really motivational. So, I will take us back to the difference between a motivational speaker and an inspirational speaker. Somebody who speaks well motivates people. You walk out of the event feeling good, but you really do not know why you feel good. That's somebody who speaks well, because speaking well is about you. It's not about others. It's about getting your message out there, but it's not about connecting with others. So when I go on stage, which I do at least once a month at minimum, I'm asking myself, how am I connecting with my audience? How am I speaking into their hearts and not speaking at them? So speaking well is about you. It's about, I just want to speak well. I want to get a standing ovation. I want to make sure that you know, I knock this thing out of the park. Now, the other one is speaking into people's hearts, where now you're moving from a motivational speaker to an inspirational speaker, where I am speaking into your heart and I am getting you to not only feel inspired, but want to transform yourself because of my message. I hope that answers your question.
Definitely. And that's what I feel that, really helps people, is like, it's when it comes from your heart to their heart, you know what I mean? And that's what I think resonates very well. Not like what you're saying, very like, I lost my train of thought. I had it there. I had it while you're speaking. I'm trying to pull it back here, but you know what? It's going to come back to me. It happens all the time on this podcast. You often talk about visibility, appreciation, and recognition. How do you define those in a context of leadership?
Okay. Your audio cut out there a little bit, but he said visibility. I seem to have lost you on the audio there.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. Okay, good. Weird. Okay, so you often talk about visibility, appreciation, and recognition. How do you define those in a context of leadership?
Okay. I'll start with appreciation. As a leader, you need to be able to value your people, and how you value your people is by appreciating them. Because if I cannot appreciate you as a leader, if your leader doesn't appreciate you, then you don't feel valued. You don't feel valued in what you in what to be visible for me as a leader is to be available, is to be able to walk amongst the people that you're leading. Because a lot of times we have what we call the invisible leader, who is not seen, is not heard, yet is trying to lead. And being there with the people, getting down into the weeds with them and letting them know, hey, I have been here and I know a way out. That's visibility for a leader. Or I'm on top of the mountain, but I'm going to come down and walk up with you because I know the path and I know the trenches, if I will. And it goes down to the term deep in the trenches. If you're deep in the trenches, you want to be there with your leader because they know how to get themselves out. Yeah.
Well, so you bringing that up brought me back to a time. So I was a superintendent and I was running a job. Concrete was late and these guys were, I'll be honest with you, they were slacking. And we had this wall, they had to build it. And I've been a carpenter for years and then became a superintendent. And concrete's coming, the wall's not built. And I'm looking at these guys and I was like, man, like, we're going to fail here, and the worst thing is to push concrete, it's a bad thing. Like, we got deadlines and schedules we got to keep. So what did I do? I threw on my belt and I ran down there and I started swinging my hammer with them. And I'm a superintendent. You're not going to find superintendents going to put their belt on. They're too busy sitting in their office, with their hard hat and doing other thing. That's not how I roll. And I ran down there in the rain. It was pouring rain, mind you. And we're banging away and everybody's like, oh, the boss is here. We got to go. I'm like, come on, boys. We had fun and we killed it, And when I did that, I got so much respect from those guys.
Right.
It was powerful because I was down there just because I got a white hard hat and my title says superintendent doesn't make me any better than any other person around here. I was a carpenter once. I was a laborer once, and if they need help, I'm going to go help them, and if they fail, I fail.
Absolutely.
So why would I let them fail if I can help them out, right? So you saying that kind of brought me back to a memory that I had there, and it's like so true, it's so true when you do these things and walk down the mountain, like you said, to carry someone else or something like that. You get the respect, the love, and you're giving back too, and you're showing that you care and you respect your coworkers or your employees or whatnot. So it was a powerful moment. So thank you for letting me remember that. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
what let's see here. What techniques do you find most effective of helping someone go from nervous speaking to confident speaking?
Okay. Speaking as it is a many people are scared of public speaking. There's a saying that there's more people who would rather die than public speak, which leads me to thinking they would rather be in the casket than delivering the eulogy. You know, and for me, I look at it like when you're speaking, the most important thing is you've got to know who you're speaking to. Number one, know your audience. Who are you speaking to? And then you have to really understand what you're speaking about. Because that when you're speaking about something you understand, you get comfortable with it. The other thing is, are you speaking at them? Are you speaking with them? Are you speaking into their hearts? Because if I'm speaking into your heart, it's conversational. If I'm speaking at you, I'm trying so hard to impress you with my words. And so how I coach people through it is, and I use this term a lot, you want your content, your speech to be organic with you. Because if I get out there and I know what I'm talking about, it doesn't matter what happens, I will be able to connect with my audience. And I have to tell you, as a public speaker, anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah.
You could lose your, say you've got, a comfort screen and you're using PowerPoints, and you could lose your comfort screen. You could lose your PowerPoint connections. You know, you could lose audio, you know, and you could have power blackouts, you name it,
Lose your voice.
yeah. When I was in the Bahamas just a couple weeks ago, there was this storm that was coming in, and I remember I was speaking. I think it was September 26th when I was speaking in the Bahamas, and right in the middle of my keynote, the sirens start going off, because these are the sirens on an island warning people that a hurricane is imminent. And what that is imagine a room with 500 people, and all their cell phones are beeping and going off, and you know it's those alerts you get on your phone.
Mhm.
So it was quite. I've never had anything like that. 500 people, and 80% of them have phones that are going off,
Yeah.
and not just once, multiple times.
Oh my God.
And for me, as a seasoned speaker, I found a way to rope that into my
Yeah.
conversation with them.
Did you make it like comical, or like did you kind of how did you do that?
So I made it a fun moment where each
Yeah.
time the alarms went off and their cell phones went off, we made a light moment out of it,
Yeah. Good.
because we speak for about 5 minutes, and then the cell phones and sirens go off, and then you've got to give it another 2 minutes and then speak again.
Yeah.
And I think the third time, when we realize this is going to continue going on, then I ask people to turn off your cell phones, but there's still
Yeah.
those 3 or 4 or 5 people who just won't turn them off.
Yeah.
But it's how you handle the crisis as a speaker.
Yeah.
So
And the approach, right? The
absolutely,
approach.
know your
Yeah.
material, let your material become organic with you, understand your audience, and remember that they don't know what you are going to be talking about. So you cannot mess up as a speaker, because you're the only one who knows the words that are supposed to be coming out of your mouth at that particular time.
Yeah, there's no like written script that they know what you're gonna say or anything like that. It's just organic, like you said, and you're the one that's in control of what you're saying.
Absolutely. And you're the authority at that time. It's
Yeah.
your story.
Yeah.
And they're there to hear your story. So those are the things, and there's a lot more. There's many other techniques, but those are just a few, and it comes down to anything in life, preparation. If you're not ready, then you will fail.
Yeah.
I prepare for my speeches all the time. I prepare for my keynotes. Do I get scared or do I get nervous sometimes? Absolutely. Every time I go on stage, I'm nervous, or I have a certain level of fear, because it's to some degree a little bit unnatural to be standing on a stage, and if you got 500 people, that's 1,000 eyes looking at you. But I always say, do it anyway. I just do it nervous, or I do it scared, but I do it. And each time you do it, it gets better, but it never goes away. So if I meet a speaker who says, I want to walk on stage and I am not nervous at all, then something's really wrong, because you gotta have that little bit of nervousness and discomfort, especially when you walk on the stage. And then it just gets easier.
There's probably that voice in the back of your head, what if, while you're going on, right? What if, right? Like you're saying, like cell phones and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
So definitely, yeah.
And you don't worry about it until, it happens, and then you find a way of dealing with it. And the worst thing you can do is to freak out while you're on
Yep.
stage, because then what that does is then everybody in your audience then begins to freak out as well, begins to be like, hey, what's going on there? When something goes wrong, build it into what you're doing, or acknowledge it, be human, let it, give it a pause, and then move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, you know what? I've been doing this podcast for 2 years, just
Yep.
over 2 years.
Right.
And same thing, man. I still get nervous every time. I still get nervous, showing up, doing all this, but I keep on going because at the end of the day, it's fun too. And I love it. I love what I do. I love meeting wonderful guests like yourself, having great conversations, learning. I've learned so much, like I told you before, but I mean, like, it's, I find that the nerves are there for the first little bit, for me. And then it's just like, it just kind of deteriorates a little bit. You know what I mean? I mean, you always have, like, don't, like I said, you got that in the back. What if, right? But at the same time, like it kind of, I always find that like it's the first maybe 5 minutes or so, and then it just focuses out for me personally. But I mean, I'm always nervous every time I'm doing it. I'm still nervous. I'm not saying that I'm not nervous while doing it, but it's not as bad as like when I first start the episodes. And you'll notice all my intros are a little like, it's because I'm nervous. But you know what? I'm natural. This is raw minds. This is real. This is what you see. This is what you get. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about my platform here is I just, just want to be me, and what you see is what you get. I struggle every day with stuff. I'm not going to come on here. I'm perfect. I'm the best. Hell no, I'm not. Hell no. I deal with depression. I deal with all these things, man, but I show up and I still move forward, and tomorrow's a new day, like I say all the time.
Yeah. Absolutely. Show up nervous, show up scared, but just show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
You
the
never know
more you
what's
show
gonna
up, the
happen.
better you get.
Exactly. So you have a book?
I have a book, actually.
Yes. The
It's
book of transforming your life, right?
yeah, transforming your life. It's
Yeah.
it's called A Voice Empowered, and this book has actually hit Amazon bestseller.
I know it does. I was gonna #1 bestseller, my friend.
Yeah, on Amazon last week. So, and this particular book, the audience can get a free copy if you go to my website, amosbalongo.com, and they should be able to download a free copy of this book. And really, what this book is about, it's my journey in how I was able to empower my voice. I was able to use, uh, my ability as a communicator to be able to get myself heard. And it starts from being the person who had the great ideas. And I was so afraid to share my ideas. And other people would take my ideas, especially in the corporate world, and run with them. And I would sit there going, didn't I just talk about that in the water cooler? And somebody just took it and run with it.
Man.
And to really owning, my ideas, being comfortable with them and being able to present them in a way that stakeholders can then, embrace them. And so it's just a powerful journey of my story, and really all the things that I did wrong when I first started out in my career, and how I was able to overcome them and use my voice, not just to empower myself as a communicator, but then now to teach others how to use their voice to be heard. And we all have a very important instrument, and that's our voice. But
I love it.
how we use it and how we use it to connect with others, is powerful. And it's like having an instrument in your collection that you never use. If you don't use it, it just collects dust on the shelf. The same thing with our voice and how we communicate. We don't use it, we don't perfect it, we don't improve it. It just becomes like another instrument that's collecting dust.
And oh God, I'm out of it today. I'm sorry. I've been really sick the last 3 days. I had a fever. My whole body was cold. My feet were hot and sweaty. I got maybe 4 hours of sleep last night because I was still feeling sick. My daughter was just sick. She finally went back to school today. Well, I mean, after the holidays, thank God. So just bear with me, man. I'm a little
No,
foggy. I've been
no
sick
worries,
2
and I
months. So
just wish you a quick recovery. And
thank you,
remember,
man.
you have to rest to continue. So I hope
Yes.
you'll get some well-deserved rest.
Yeah, I've been resting pretty good. I got a case of ginger ale and I got some Lipton lemon drink, that the hot lemon tea thing that helps me at night. It's been helping, but it's the hot and cold that gets me at nighttime. I'll get there, man. It's okay. It's okay. It's just part of the journey all the time, right? We get sick. So
Wonderful, wonderful.
what advice would you give someone that feels stuck in their voice or message?
Well, I would say, this is your story. And this is your life story. And if you do not tell your story, someone else will tell your story for you. And it may not be the way you want it to be told. And we all have an opportunity in life to tell our story. So don't let that pass you by because you are afraid to speak out, because you're afraid to tell it. Find ways to tell your story because everybody wants to tell their story in their version and not from somebody else's eyes.
And there's different ways, like you said, to tell it. Like, to be honest with you, I've been slacking on this because I dealing with some mental stuff. But I worked on a CD, or not CD. Holy cow! I'll tell you how old I am. I worked on a 14-track album
Yeah.
that I have, and it's about my life. And then I also wrote a memoir that I'm not quite done with, but I'm almost done with, that I'm putting out. And like there's different ways. I mean, people can paint. There's different ways that you can even tell your story. It doesn't even have to be communication that way, but I mean, like you I mean, like speaking, but you can tell it through songs or plays or everything. So I just want to put that out there too for people that, really want to like express their feelings. Man, what is it? I'm not getting paid for this, okay? But I will say this. It's Suno, SUNO.ai, and you can make music. And I'm telling you, I made a 14-track album and it sounds so good. So good. Yeah, like I mean so good. Like I type in, okay, I want a saxophone solo at the start. Boom, it gives me a saxophone solo and it's good. It's really I'll send you something later. But I mean, and yeah, and like I've always wanted to be able to sing, but I mean, if I sang, someone would be like, "Who's killing the cat?" You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not a singer, but I've always the passion. I think it's very powerful getting your story out. I think singing music is the number one thing that brings us all together at the end of the day. We all, it's just so powerful. And I always just wanted that. So AI has gave me the opportunity to be able to do that. It may not be my voice, but it's my lyrics and my story. And it's kind of cool that I get to put it out there. So, I mean, I just want to tell anybody out there saying, man, try it out. You'll be impressed. You'll be very impressed.
Yes, and I like what you said. There's so many ways to tell your story. It can be written, it can be vocally, it could be through artistic impressions, but tell it because you
Yes.
only have one life, you only have one story.
I got a weird question for you.
Absolutely should.
Well, it's not really weird, but it's kind of cool. Who would you love to sit? Who is one person you would love to sit across from, alive or dead, and have a conversation with, and why? Weird, right? Little weird, but off the topic. But I like to throw one and two of these in there, just to
You got me. You got me thinking there. I would. Wow. Okay. That's
Come back to that. You want
yeah.
to come
Let's come
back to
back to
that?
that as I think about that because that's a profound question, and we will come back to
It
that. But
is. It
let's.
very is. I like
Yes.
to throw one of those in there somewhere with all my guests. I don't like to say anything, but I don't make it too hard. But it's a good question. You know what I mean? It's a good one. Yeah. Okay, we can come back to that.
And
Definitely.
actually, let's figure it out.
Okay.
I think it'll be Nelson Mandela.
You know what's so funny?
Yeah.
Because that's the person that I would love to have a chat with. 100%. Yes, 100%. I think the guy is just. It's really sad that he's gone.
Mhm.
But he was just amazing person.
Yeah.
And I mean, even U2. I don't know if you know U2, the band.
Yes.
It was called At the Rose Bowl, and it was
Mhm.
Nelson Mandela speaking. It was me, and it just like that was like the profound moment for me to like. I looked up him and looked more into him, and I just was wow from this guy, and he's just amazing human being, and I think that a lot more people should be like that guy, definitely.
Absolutely. I think Nelson Mandela really, is an example that we should all follow. Talk about forgiveness.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, somebody who has such a heart that can forgive and move on. I mean, he was jailed for 27 years
Yeah, I know.
and forgave his jailers, if I will,
Yeah.
and even invited some of them into his cabinet.
Really? I didn't know that.
I believe he did.
Crazy.
And to think that, he would have such a heart to say, I am not going to go out there and revenge and pay back what was done to me,
Yeah.
but I am going to forgive. That's somebody I would want to have a cup of coffee with and say, hey, how did you do that?
Yeah. It's hard.
Because it's a very difficult thing to do. And the only person I know who's ever done it successfully is Nelson Mandela, because we're human.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And I don't go into politics at all in this, but I want to touch on this because I saw this. And at Charlie Kirk's funeral, the speaker, Charlie Kirk, his wife, I think her name's Erica Kirk, forgave the shooter at the funeral. And I mean, that's powerful. You know what I mean? That is powerful. When you can do that, and that's powerful.
I think forgiveness is about letting go. It's about saying, I'm not going to let this load weigh me down. I'm going to let it go. And I'm not going to, because when you hold grudges, you hold yourself back.
Yeah.
And I hope someday somebody will write a book about Nelson Mandela and forgiveness, because if we can figure that method out on how he did it, I think the world can be a better place.
Yeah. And like I have two role models in my life. One of them is him.
Yeah.
And in the one of them, I don't really want to say too much, but there's one other person. I don't want to give him too much credit right now. Yeah. But yeah, there's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, man. How people can just let go? It's hard. It really is hard, and I had to do that to my fiance's family because they did me wrong. You know what I mean? And the way that I wouldn't say justify, but understood is they're grieving, and that's how they grieved. And I understand because I seen this before. I seen when my grandma passed away, I had family members running to her house, trying to take her stuff, just like it was horrible, and then people, and then they started fighting, and it's grieving, and like that's what it does that to people, and it's really hard. And I understood this. Like, yes, am I still mad that the situation happened? Yeah, I can still be mad that it happened, right? And like how they treated me. Do I forgive them? Yeah, I forgive them because I understand grieving. Do I think it was fair what they did to me? Definitely not, But I mean, I don't hold a grudge to them. I understand. I mean, a mother lost her daughter, how devastating more can that get? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I can understand the things that happen, but do I think it's right? No, I don't think it's right. But everybody grieves in different ways, right?
Absolutely.
So you've traveled, I think I said 30 countries. You've been to 30 countries, is it?
I think I'm at 32 now, I think, if I'm not wrong.
32.
Between 32 and 34, something like that.
Do you notice anything different, like when you're speaking? Is it like when you're talking to the audience, or is it like everybody's kind of the same? You know what I mean? Like, do you have to change anything, like when going to different countries? You know what I mean? Or is it like everybody? Is it like a unity? I'm trying to find the right words, but I don't have it right. But I think you understand what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. Every speaking engagement is different. It doesn't matter whether it's in the United States, in Europe, in Africa, in Asia. It's different because you're dealing with a different audience each time. When you go to different countries, there's cultural differences, there's geographical differences. And so being sensitive to those things is really important as a speaker. I'm dialed into the culture of the place that you're speaking in. So to answer your question, it's never the same. It's very different audiences all the time. I speak in California, a very different audience than speaking in Boston. And it's very important to know your audience and be able to connect with them at the level where you can motivate them, inspire them, and then eventually transform them with your message.
And how do you get to know your audience when you haven't even like met them, if you don't mind me asking?
Yes, you have to do your research. So most of the time, if I'm going out to speak, I've been hired to speak. It's at a conference, an event, a private corporate function. I'm going to ask questions. Who am I speaking to? What industry are they from? If I can get a rough idea of the age range. I don't need to know everybody's age exactly, but I need to know that most people in the audience are between ages 30 and 50 or between ages 18 and 25 because my delivery is different depending on the people I'm speaking with, where they're from, the age group. The way I'm going to deliver a message to the Gen Zs is very different than the way I'm going to deliver it to the baby boomers. So that's how I know my audience. Now, I'm not going to get in and know everybody personally, but
Yeah.
the worst thing you can do as a speaker is to walk into a room blind, not knowing anything about who you're speaking with, because then at that point, you're going to be speaking at them. You're not going to be speaking into their hearts.
So do your research is what you're saying. Like even like you like do you ask or do you like Google or do you like ask the company or whoever you're speaking for? Do you ask kind of like all these questions or do you kind of just go on your own, kind of figure it out?
Ask the questions, because if you're flying me somewhere to speak and you're paying me to do that, you've got to have some time to give me some information on this is who you're going to be speaking with. And I've never had a speaking engagement where I go in not knowing my audience.
Do you think there's people that go out there and do that?
I'm sure there is, but again, that's what's called just I'd call that a wild stab in the dark, because you don't know what you're hitting. The thing is, Eric, you cannot hit a target that you cannot see.
Yes. Yeah, you're going in blind, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I got to see the target, and the audience is my target. I got to know who they are. Otherwise, you're not even speaking. At that point, you're just talking.
Yeah. Love it. Well, brother, it's getting to the end here. I do have one last question I like to ask everybody. If you had one advice to the world, what would it be?
My advice to the world is that you only have one life. And at the end of your life, you want to have left everything out there. Now, some people will stay sheltered and will protect themselves and not venture out, not challenge status quo, not be disruptive. But some of the greatest experiences in life, come as a result of saying, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to challenge status quo. I'm going to be disruptive, because you learn, you grow, you develop from knowing what's out there. There's a lot of great things out there. And the only way is you got to get out. You got to get out of your house. You got to get out and say, I want to know what's out there, and I want to eat life with a big spoon.
I love that. I actually hold that for a second because you said that. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I wish I had it. I don't know where my daughter had it, but it's a huge spoon. I wanted to show you. I thought it was a great moment to show you there. Sorry, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, sorry. I have like a 4 or 5 foot spoon my buddy gave me. It's huge, and like the thing's huge. So I've never ran out. I'm so excited to show someone on the podcast. I've never ran to like leave. I apologize, everybody that's watching. I'll find the spoon and I'll take a picture and send it to you. I think it's great. I think it's great. It's great.
What a great way to end this with a big spoon.
Yeah, exactly. I love it, man. And I just want to say thank you coming on here. It's a pleasure, and definitely we will be in contact. I think you're got some great advice for me that I want to take and follow, and I think you're on the right track of saving a lot of children, man. So I appreciate it. The whole time you're talking about that, I had goosebumps. I was just like shivering, and just beautiful love. You know what I mean? What you're doing for the kids is amazing. So if you could do me one last favor, can you plug all your stuff again so everybody can hear just one last time?
All right. You can find out about my work, my speaking at amosbalongo.com, AMOS, BALONGO campohana.com. You want to learn about my charity, it's campohana.org. So campohana.org. There you can find out about the children we work with and how we are adding value to them. And I have a podcast that's called Journeys of Inspiration.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Hold on, no, I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you go. I totally forgot about the pod. I have it right there too. And then, okay, yes, let's talk about that first before you go, because I want everybody to head over to your podcast and show you some love too, man. So
yeah, Journeys of Inspiration is a podcast that's designed to really give short but sweet nuggets of wisdom that help you, inspire you, and transform you. Because I believe, in order to get somebody to where they can transform their lives, we got to motivate them. So we want to motivate you, then we want to inspire you. And then once we inspire you, we want to transform you. And how we transform you is by giving you, a call to action. Leaders have a bias towards action. So I want to give you something that you can anchor on and take action. So Journeys of Inspiration does exactly that. It's short topics, 5-minute segments of just golden nuggets of why the journey is more important than the destination. So check out Journeys of Inspiration on Apple iTunes, and anywhere where you consume podcasts, and show me some love.
hell yeah, and I'll definitely show you some love too, man. Please send me that. I think you might have sent me that. I gotta double check the email there. But if you haven't, I'll double check and say. But if not, then please send me that, because I'm gonna definitely show you some love too, man. So
Will do.
And it'll be in the description. It'll be in the description.
Wonderful.
And anytime you want to come back, anything big you got going on, please come back, share it, and we'll talk the talk and have a good time again, man.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing this platform to, there's a lot of value here, and there's a lot of people that need it. And, many people shy away from raw conversations, but I'm glad you're taking this head on and, showing that we can have raw, meaningful conversations and come out of it with something of value. So thank you for your leadership, Erick.
Thank you. And you're very welcome, man. And thank you for your leadership too. I appreciate it, man. And if you guys please go check them out. Give them some love. We want to build this huge community to know that, the true strength is to reach out and ask for help. A lot of people out there, just bottling it up. It's not, I used to be like that. I used to bottle it up all the time. I think talk to someone, get a counselor, whatever you need to do, whatever it is. For me, it was coloring books. Coloring books saved me from depression. Try it. Try the coloring books. Focus. It's to help focus. So, if you're out there, this is true strength. Speak. You're not alone. And from Raw Minds and Amos, we'll say goodbye.
Aloha.
Take it easy. Aloha. Awesome, brother.